Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you like the content, hit the subscribe button, leave a like down below. Got quite a few things to talk about today, so let's get into it. So first and foremost, the Twitch channel for 2K had their WWE Showdown thing for the day. And they showed off a Karrion Kross entrance, and they showed off the Judgment Day entrance, which I will play for you with different music because I don't want to get copyright claimed right now. Now, Karrion Kross's entrance looks awesome. I feel bad for him because for some reason, the fans they're just not getting his gimmick, you know? I think it's a cool gimmick. I like it. The dynamic with him and his wife, I think it's really cool. I love the entrance. I might use that for some of my created characters. I think it's awesome. The song is cool. I'm glad they got the song in there. Whew, excuse me. And the Judgment Day entrance. The detail on their character models it blows me away. I'm like, holy crap, look at all the details. Rhea looks great. Finn Balor looks great. Damian Priest looks amazing. Where's Dom? I know it was before Dom there when they made the game, but hopefully we get a patch where Dom's in there later. So that'll probably be saved for the next game. How funny it'd be if that ended up being DLC. It's like, yeah, Dom being part of the Judgment Day is now DLC. Anyway, now on to the Best Buy situation. Over on Best Buy, I'll have it pop up right now. Best Buy changed the listing to not announced. So, when is this game coming out? That could still be the date that it comes out. We don't know yet. But I'm guessing that who knows at this point? They've been all over the place at this release date. It was supposed to come out in 2022. It was supposed to come out in 2021. Keeps getting delayed. I mean, The longer it takes for the AEW game to come out, the higher the expectations will be. This is the problem when you announce a game when it's in its conception, when it hasn't even started. That's why you shouldn't mention the game until it's near completion, right? Until you have an actual build stuff to show, because they've hardly shown anything, but from what they have shown, I'm pretty excited. And 2K23 is kind of in the same boat right now. The game comes out in less than 2 weeks, right? As the filming of this video, and they're not really showing matches. They're not really showing the modes. They're not really showing the improvements to, I say air quote, improvements to Universe mode, improvements to other modes like My Rise. Who knows? My Rise might be exactly the same. I don't really care about my faction, but if you like it, good for you. I think it's a huge waste of time and money because you have to start over every year. And that's another thing about the 2K games. I think I mentioned this in another video. We don't need one every single year. I know they want that huge income from every year, but they're going to end up doing the exact same thing that happened with the last 10 years of games. People are going to get sick of, tired of it, and the scores are going to go down, and even the developers are going to get burned out doing it every single year. They have to change this model, or we're going to be right back where we started with 2K20, right? I don't think it'll ever be that bad again, but let's say when we go to the next system, the PlayStation 6 and the Xbox whatever, and the next Nintendo, if they make it on Nintendo. I doubt they ever will, because Nintendo systems are always severely underpowered compared to the PlayStation and Xbox. But when they make that transition to the new system, that's when they get like really screwed, because they only have a year to make the new game, right? And then the very first one on the PS4, the 2K15, you couldn't even make female wrestlers. That whole feature was taken out. It was such an incomplete game. It blew my mind, and that's kind of where I fell off the series. And then I bought every one of them every year. The first one I didn't buy on day one was 2K20. Thank goodness. I waited until they got a bunch of patches, and I finally played it. And it had so many features, even though it would crash a lot. It had so many features that I had been lacking in previous games, and they finally added a ton of new stuff to the creation parts for your character, that I got back into wrestling games. And it kind of reignited my love for wrestling games. So the fact that there's so many wrestling games via indie, AEW, or whatever, makes me very happy, because wrestling is a forgotten genre in the world of video games, and there's only been one constant, and with no competition, just like WWE. So I'm very happy that there's going to be competition going forward. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is there's this thing going around online, people complaining about the graphics of the AEW video game, right? Clearly, it's not going to be as good as 2K22 or 2K23. They have a much bigger pool of money, and they have the systems already technically built to build off of, so they didn't have to start from scratch. Now, AEW, since it was announced, is being made for the Nintendo Switch, the base PS4, the base Xbox One, and then the next-gen system. So it has to be made for those old systems. Then it'll be upgraded or whatever for the new systems. And by upgrade, I'm air quoting here, because it'll run better, probably load faster, but the visuals probably going to be exactly the same. Now, making any game from the ground up takes a long time, and I know Ukes and Aki alumni, or whatever you want to call it, have been working their tails off trying to get this game done, and it sounds like it is done. It's just, don't expect it to be like some be-all end-all wrestling game. This is their first attempt with a limited budget and all these roadblocks to keep hitting. And don't forget, everybody keeps forgetting about this, it was being developed during COVID, so that probably severely hindered development. So there's going to be a lot of missing features, so keep that in mind. I'm not trying to defend the game. If it's a turd when it comes out, it's a turd, but they've had more than enough time to try to get all this extra stuff done that they keep having to fix. So if it doesn't get announced, it's March, right? If it doesn't get announced the next 2 weeks, it's not coming out in March, in my opinion. I mean, there's no way you can announce the release date and then have it come out in 2 weeks, right? I mean, oh, one more thing before I forget. There's this new poster image that's supposed to be the DLC leak, right? Or not leak, but the hint at who's the DLC going to be. What are you doing, 2K? If you want more people to pre-order your game that comes out in 2 weeks, just tell us what the DLC is. Because the DLC is it's very important. Because if your favorite wrestler isn't in the game, or if certain wrestlers that you want to be in the game aren't in the game, you probably won't buy the game, right? So you really need to just tell us what the stupid DLC is so we can give you our money, right? Is it just me? I don't want to have to be detective and figure out what this crap is. I mean, I guess it's fun for some of the community, but if this was like 6 months ago, then I think it'd be okay. But 2 weeks before the game comes out, just tell us what's going to be DLC. At least tell us the first pack. I mean, come on, really? Anyway, this is just one man's thoughts. What do you think about the DLC? What do you think of the cool new entrances? Do you think they're pretty good? What do you think of graphics? I have a poll up, by the way. Graphics over gameplay. And, yeah, as always, thanks for watching. Stay frosty.